Yo, it's happy hour. Pretty sure things will work today. If you notice that there wasn't a happy hour yesterday, it's probably because you're one of the 99% that gave the fuck up and left. Because I guess audio was garbage. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we did a happy hour. It was a pretty good one.
And you know what?
Felt like.
Not only did we do a happy hour, but we were pretty happy during it. It was
we
a
did
good
it
time.
well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the audio is garbage live, and we thought it would be good on the recorded version, and as it turns out,
not so
we
much,
were
Al.
wrong.
Yeah.
That's not so good, Al.
So you want to give a summary of what we covered yesterday? Mainly, I was just infatuated by, like, the big news yesterday was what a shit show of a rally that was, and was it TikTok's fault, and what does it mean for the president and all that stuff? And I wanted to know kind of if there was like a dawning realization among the press who was there in that moment.
There might have been in the room. Again, I was not credentialed to be in the building, but I was outside, and to be totally honest, it was a surprise to me. Like, it was a genuine surprise because, you know, if you look at my Twitter from the day, when you're there at 11 o'clock and there's like 4,000 people waiting with 7 hours until the guy they're there to see shows up, it kind of looks like that. Sure as hell looked to me like a successful, well-attended rally. It was not, but I also think that, you know, there were people that were still waiting to get in. Like, it was poorly organized. The TikTok thing was going around online, and certainly I was aware of it beforehand. You know, but at that point, really in the moment, the biggest thing for me was just matching the like what the, so like literally everybody that's in the arena now was there at 11. Like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And then what else did we talk about? That's pretty much it. Oh, I did acknowledge that
I'm shocked that either of us remember anything, because normally asking us what we talked about yesterday is a losing proposition.
Yeah, well, suddenly we have a reason to try to remember because we didn't get it. I think the other thing we started to touch on was my slow dawning realization that I may, in fact, have to buy a steak for one, see Robert Cargill.
Yeah, I mean, I think as soon as coronavirus happened, the steak came more into play.
Right.
Because the economy wasn't going to be there, at least in the way that it was leading up to it. So
hold on.
For me,
which happened first? Did Biden became the settled upon candidate first, or did coronavirus happen?
It was basically side by side, because you know, think of it like this. I'm in South Carolina watching Joe Biden win his first primary ever in his third run for president, and like nearing 50 years of being a politician. He wins his first
by the way, for
primary state ever.
For anybody under the age of 25, I do think it's important to explain to them Biden is notoriously awful at winning primaries, and like he's run for president
so
many
notorious.
times.
He's never done it. He did it for the first time in February of 2020, which by my watch was somewhere between 10 and 15 years ago. Yeah, so he does that. The next day, over the next 24 hours, the rest of the moderate candidates that were splitting his vote all drop out almost in unison. The day after that, they all endorse Joe Biden. And the day after that is Super Tuesday, which by the demographics would have been the moment that Bernie Sanders put significant distance between him and the rest of the field based on the demographics that were voting. So and this may or may not be something that's covered in detail during a future episode of Raise the Dead, but it is my opinion that what we saw was not a Biden comeback, quote unquote, but rather a stop Bernie movement that worked successfully.
Right.
And so that happens. Super Tuesday happens as coronavirus is still building. Coronavirus basically becomes like the first week of March. So Super Tuesday is in March. And then literally, I think the next week, all the shutdowns happen. So like Biden had won the Super Tuesday stuff before the lockdowns. But after that, everybody on some levels, somebody in the country was locked down past that. And so, and really, once Bernie couldn't put distance after Super Tuesday, setting up a convention fight, then it was pretty much done from there.
So I think we all have a tendency to try to portray ourselves as right and the hero of their own narrative that they're imagining. I remember thinking this election is Trump's to lose. Like there's no like by default he
historically the incumbent doesn't lose.
However, man, does it look like he's trying real hard. Like knowing that hey man, the only person who's gonna fuck this up is me. Well, I guess I better get to work. Let me make announcements about how, if we just tested less, then we'd have less coronavirus.
See, that stuff I don't think bothers. Like that to me is part of his strategy. Like he will say a thing that is undeniable for people to freak out about. It fans the flames with his hardcores who don't like the media. The media freaks out about it. And meanwhile, it's not real. It's shit he's saying at a rally. Like Anthony Fauci came out today and he's like, yeah, I'm running the testing. He's never told us to slow down the testing, and we're not slowing down the testing. And also it's like, if he's like, slow down the testing, we've done like 10 million tests more than Europe combined. Like we're like 5 million more than the closest country, which is Russia. Like we are the gold standard in testing right now. And we're apparently at like 25% the capacity that we'll be at by the fall. But then again, this is the perfect thing for Trump, is that he says the thing that freaks people out. The larger things that Trump should worry about, number one, is the fact that he was just uniquely unsuited to handle this coronavirus thing. Like they are very much not the skills that he needed to put on display, and he doesn't have, not in this climate. it's of constant war.
He looks himself in the mirror and he says, okay, things I'm good at, getting people riled up. The one thing I must not do. All right, let's start at the beginning again. Things I'm good at, getting people riled up.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, is that usually in a crisis, you want a soothing commander-in-chief, not one who is yelling at reporters and constantly on the offensive. Like, people wanted a lollipop and not a handgun to fight their enemies, right? And Trump is nothing but handguns at all times, and he's never going to be anything else. So we'll see where we're at. I mean, I still think it's going to be a close election, mostly because I don't think Biden is a good candidate, and elections are traditionally close.
Hey,
and there's also the fact that this is the worst it gets.
Real quick, could you just jiggle all of the connections on everything on your mic? I don't know which one it is, but something's tricky. But I agree. Like there, that was like feeling an audio back scratch.
There we go.
Oh yeah, there we are. Yeah, man. Like, so here's a question that popped into my mind in the shower. And I think the answer is almost certainly no, given the way we elect leaders. But if there's ever an exception, maybe 2020 is it. Is there anything to Biden hinting ever so quietly that he might not even finish his first term, and what you're really doing is picking between Pence and his VP candidate? I can't imagine, like by default.
He's never said, he said he's only going to serve one term. Like, but he can't say I'm not going to finish out my first term, because then at that point the call would be, well, then drop out and we'll just decide who the candidate is at the convention. Like he can't say I'm not going to serve out my term.
What? No.
Like
Okay.
he can say he's only going to serve one.
Let me put it this way. Everybody who's ever run as not the other guy has lost, right? We've talked about this. Kerry lost because of that. Trump, Clinton lost because of that. All those things. The closest you could get to running as not the other guy and winning, to me, might involve a strong hint that you have an exit strategy. And you're not really voting for, I mean, you're voting for not Trump, but also, man, the moment I have a tennis appointment, Kamala Harris is going to be great, or whatever.
Well, so the reason why I thought Pete Buttigieg was going to be the candidate that the moderate wing coalesced around was mostly because Democrats love the laminate the paper candidate. They love the like buy the commemorative coin.
Yeah.
Tell everybody blank where they were when they voted for candidate.
Check the box.
Every Democratic president that's been elected has had a claim to a thing, including two we're voting for the young guys in Kennedy and Clinton. So Biden is not. Biden's literally the definition of safe, been there forever.
And by safe, you mean a guy whose eyeball explodes on stage and whose teeth is constantly falling out. That's how we're defining safe, just to be clear.
Yeah. Okay. You know, a politician.
All right.
So I think what the reason why he said early, I'm going to pick a woman, and now the messaging is increasingly clear that he's going to pick a black woman, is because that is, all right, well, I'm not a first, but I can certainly give a fast pass ticket to the presidency to a double first, a black woman. That's a double, laminate the paper twice, because that'll be something, and I will be the facilitator to that.
Now that's interesting because yes, I believe the pull to bringing a first to a moment, but like I have the impression right now, and you can tell me whether or not this lands, that mainly a vote for Trump 4 years ago was a vote for just general anger. It was rural America versus, city America. I do suspect that some amount of that vote was straight up racist. If he were to pick not only a woman, but a woman of color as a VP running mate, and part of that is also I'm only going to run one term, how passionate is the racist demographic, I guess?
I never know how to really work out the calculus on that, mostly because spoiler alert, racism exists. Spoiler alert, racists exist. I think that they are often too cleverly defined by having certain values.
Would you say rascally? They're rascally racists.
I don't even want to play around with this.
Right, sorry.
I'm not even coming close to it.
It's a serious enough subject. We should treat it correctly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I ultimately, you have to have a compelling ticket. And I think that there is an argument to say that if you are a woman or a black woman, you have to have a doubly compelling ticket. But I do also know that for the Democrats to activate the for sure going to come out and vote voters that they need, that is something that tends to energize them. Now, whether Kamala Harris is the energizer there, whether it's Val Demings, whether it's Keisha Lance Bottoms, whether it's Susan Rice. We'll see, right? But I think that is whether or not, like, ultimately you're going to have racist vote because they happen to be humans and they have a way to vote and they will.
Right.
You've got to have a compelling reason to get racists to vote for a black person in the way that I'm sure many racists voted for Obama. Just look at that documentary, Get Out.
Took me a moment. All right. Well, so stake alert. How should I start setting money aside?
No, it's a long run, man. Like we got a long way between here and November, and I think Biden is a bad candidate. And
I think that's the one thing. And by the way, if anybody for even 1 second believes that we may have new listeners, thinks that I care which of the two old teeth falling out white people are president, like I got no dog in that fight. Can't even give you the name of my candidate, but she's a libertarian, and she's the libertarian. I'll vote for
Jo
a woman.
Jorgensen.
Yeah.
Jo Jorgensen.
Yeah. But I do care very much about being right over C. Robert Cargill. And the longer our victory streak against him gets, the happier I am to play and suddenly care about all this stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, this would be the first time that you joined me because I had to pay. You were right last time, but I was the one who had to pay. This time you threw your lot in with me. So maybe I'm the guy who just constantly has to buy Cargill estate.
You and I were both anti Green Lantern. So, I mean, it's not our first. It's not the first time that we both dunked on C. Robert Cargill. Although that was the one time that we got to dunk on both him and Kuhan, which was a double fun experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, the biggest thing that will play a factor now that you should watch if you care about this is where COVID goes, because lately we have seen a decoupling of the correlation between cases and deaths that was very correlated before. Now it is not correlated and hasn't been in the months now since areas have opened up and opened their economy up. Now it might again correlate, but it has, as of recently, not. So if we are in a place where a lot more people are getting COVID, but not a lot of people are dying from COVID, then stretch that out until November and the economy starts getting better, this is a different ball game. And also, I think, Biden at a certain point, Biden's got to unveil something that isn't just fuck this guy, am I right? Like for many people, that'll be enough to get him to the polls. That'll be enough to get him to vote. But if it's just fuck this guy, am I right? Then you're not activating people that either could go vote.
To the best of our understanding, nobody's won with that. With that and only that. Fuck this guy. Nobody's ever won with. The decoupling of the number of infections and deaths on coronavirus has kind of there's two branches to explore. On the one hand, like if people aren't dying and ICU beds aren't being used, then what we're seeing through some eyes is literally the stated intention of flattening the curve. In the beginning, flattening the curve meant, look, we're all going to get it. We just want to make sure that we don't all get it at the same time, and then a lot of us die from it. You could declare that a victory if it was out there and eventually we all got it and got immune, and it was, and again, apologies to anyone who's dealing with it on a personal level, but if it ends up from an optics point looking like, quote unquote, it's just another flu, then you could declare that victory. However, the meaning of flattening the curve has moved a bit, where it's closer to no, let's eradicate the disease by nobody getting it and having that be the end of it. So it's weird because as it becomes increasingly, and to my eyes, horrifically politicized, I could see both sides declaring victory as we get closer to October and November.
Oh, I mean, we're already at dual realities on COVID. You know, the question is, how much does it recede as an issue, or how much does it continue to stay at the forefront as an issue? And you know, I do want to say, yeah, hospital use and ICU use is up in certain areas, and that would mean it's up nationwide. But between younger people getting it and you know, us just being better at treating it, if the deaths aren't there and the death numbers continue to get lower and lower, it will result in people caring less about it.
Well,
Like that is just, to me, a news value. That is a news fact.
Maybe different language than care less about it. I think that really a substantial, let's say, I think there's a 10-point swing in the general election based entirely on how scared are you of coronavirus. Because if you're not very scared, I think Trump wins. If you are very, very scared, then, or if you, America, is very, very scared, then I think Biden is able to come in credibly and say, hey, we watched this other asshole mismanage all of this. It's time for an adult.
Yeah. I mean, but again, I think, you know, somebody said, you know, Trump won with fuck that girl. No, Trump won on build a wall. Trump won on we need to stop letting China rip us off. Like he won on a populist platform that was saying he was going to do things. Now, whether or not you thought those things were right or racist or awful, that's up to everybody's interpretation.
His
but that
stated goal was remember when. Like that's whether or not he was ugly and gross in every aspect of his candidacy. Many people who voted for him, they were much like Pepperidge Farms. They remembered.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can litigate the 2016 election, but it seems like we're already hitting every controversial people are upset about it branch on the way down this tree. But yeah, I think, you know, they're like he ran on a platform, in a way that I think, you know, winning candidates tend to run on a platform. Same way Obama ran on a platform.
Yeah. What's Biden's platform?
Here's the deal. Here's the deal, folks. You know, we're going to get out there and we're going to, you know, I was just disgusted when I saw what Donald Trump said. Can you believe it? I can't. I mean, what malarkey?
That sounds like fuck that guy. That's not a
malarkey. No, you're a bunch of malarkey. Hey, listen, fat. You're a malarkey man. You know, what do you want to do? Do push-ups?
Here's what you do.
I'll do push-ups right now.
You cut a switch, but you must adhere to the rule of thumb. Let me explain. All right, hold on. Give me a moment here.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Me, Biden.
Yeah. Anyway,
I swear I'm gonna end this sentence.
You're a sawdust mill licking pantyhosier in my book. You know, I'll take your face and I'll make it an ashtray out of chewing gum. When you know, back in 1954, me and Strom Thurmond were playing Tiddlywinks, and he told me there's no way that you could get a glass that high. And I said, you watch me, bub. And that's the first thing I said to Woodrow Wilson when I met him.
Here's a fun game. What generation is Biden? Because he's too old to be a boomer.
Yeah. Hey, you know how Nintendo started as a playing card company?
Yeah.
That's the generation. He's that generation of Nintendo. The Gilded. If you want to know what generation is Biden, the Gilded.
Ben Franklin's trying to say he's a boomer. No, the definition of a boomer is somebody who's born after World War II. That's why there was a baby boom. Oh my God.
He's part of the Elizabethan era. He's old, folks. He's old. Look, we don't know that he's not enchanted bones. You know, tell me that Biden didn't die and then he was brought back as enchanted bones. You don't know.
All right.
Don't know.
Hold on. I mean, I know.
That's why he's only going to serve one term, because his skin's melting. Go ahead.
This election means a lot to people, and maybe this is offensive.
Yeah. The bones are making too much heat and the skin is melting, but please go on.
But my God, would I love to create our own version of debate craps. And number one, the underlying statement is that the debate is crap. But number two,
sure,
all of the action, instead of dice rolls, it's all based on whether or not there's different action with different payouts on whether or not they complete a sentence, whether or not they repeat themselves, whether or not they land on a cogent thought. And it's like everybody is placing bets left and right because they don't know that either of them are going to do a great job of, I mean, there's enough noise there that we can roll them bones.
Oh yeah. No, I'm down with that. I'm down with I mean, I guess maybe we would have to
we'd have to clarify what it means to land a cogent thought, or whether or not it counts to repeat for emphasis versus, repeat because you can't remember where you are. So
I think here's
bit of side action of a severe physiological problem during the show, like that moment everybody thought that Trump was having a stroke, but his dentures were just falling out, or Biden's eye exploded, or I mean, God, is that too ghoulish?
Trump was sniffing real loud, like. Well, I mean, I do think that those catastrophes are very often rare. So I don't know. I mean, that would be the highest value on the craps table, where you'd be betting and losing a lot, but if it hit, you would really make some money. But there's plenty of shit that rhetorically we could say that are more reliable.
So maybe we could, if we figured out a list of criteria, and it can't be partisan. It's got to be fairly factual, like black and white. Like, did he complete a sentence? Yes, no. Maybe we rank it kind of like a prize fight, where both people at the end are still standing, and but you can factually count the number of body blows that were landed, and whether or not they're still breathing at the end, or whether or not the fight was called, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, scoring a debate is always hard. Take it from somebody that likes to think of debates from a rhetorical standpoint and not a whose team won standpoint. Because let me tell you a little something from experience, Brian. People get a lot less willing to joke about their candidates the closer it gets to election day.
I think ultimately
shit gets fucking tight.
Yeah.
Tight.
Forget I said anything. It's a wonderful idea that can never happen. But privately, no, seriously, you, me, Mitsula, maybe we can have a secret fight club, debate night club.
Yeah, dude. I'll be there. I'm going to be at the debates.
Really?
I'm going to the debates.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I have credentials yet, but I mean, I will be there. I'll be doing something.
Okay.
I will be in those cities. Let me put it that way. I will be in those cities to cover those debates.
So here's a fun fact. I have no idea how many debates there's going to be.
3. Yeah, Trump was pushing for more, and Biden responded by responding that we are confirming for 3, which was really his way of saying, I'm not. Are you fucking crazy? Like, we'll do what the normal thing is, so he's not seen as hiding more than he already is. But
Trump pushed for 3, and Biden responded with the with the meatball meme from Bloomberg.
yeah,
just like whatever, bro.
God, what a weird quixotic campaign that was. That one, that Bloomberg campaign deserves deserves its own little mini doc.
Well, and for it, I think that also might be between that campaign and the Clinton campaign. And again, I don't want to step on anyone's political toes here, but there's been a lot of talk about how we need a law to take money out of politics. And between the Clinton campaign, Clinton spent all the money in the universe and was unable to beat the most terrible candidate of all time.
Yeah, an internet troll.
Right. And Bloomberg had and spent all the money in the world and was unable to even secure the primary. So, like, I'm kind of done listening to anybody
He won American Samoa.
Oh, that's right.
He won American Samoa, which is determined by 8 people, and he barely beat Tulsi Gabbard, who is Samoan. So, barely beat the favorite daughter.
And also, Bernie crushed it with $100 donations and all those things. It's like I'm kind of like somebody's got a big fat Mount Everest sized hill to climb if you want to explain to me how anybody's able to buy an election, because I, in just the last 2 elections, have watched multiple people try it, and it's never ever worked. And the one who won one of those, like, even despite claiming to have a lot of money, spent none of it, certainly not on graphic design and fonts. And so I don't maybe somebody can convince me.
I think that there's the idea of like a baseline. You need a baseline of money. If you have less than the baseline of money, then I think it's very hard to run.
That's hard to reconcile with Bernie, who, up until he had, his book published, was, I believe his net value was less than $1 million or whatever.
No, but you have you need money to run offices, you need money to hire staff, you need money to it's not necessarily that you have it and you're putting it in yourself. Candidates don't spend their own money, but they get people that believe in them, right, that spend money on them. Bernie certainly had that, and then he supplemented it with a wave of small money donations. But of course, he had the great advantage of running against the star maker, Hillary Clinton, who does nothing but make big, beautiful, brilliant, incandescent stars. Like, she unparalleled. If you run up against her, boy, she's going to shine you up real nice. And with tremendous regularity, you're going to be the president of the United States of America. Congratulations. You're running against Hillary Clinton.
I mean, I don't want to piss anyone off, and we got 20 more minutes, so what say we change the topic?
Yeah, baby.
She was such a bad candidate. She was so bad that she lost.
Star maker. We're changing the subject. What do you think about grilled cheese? What kind of cheese do you like on a grilled cheese?
No, I'm a plain Jane traditional American cheese, which I'm not entirely sure is cheese.
I know what I want to talk about, Brian. I went to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, everything.
This was your big, for everybody just joining us, this was and you've been talking about this for a while. Justin Robert Young, have been talking about this pilgrimage. Yes, there happened to be a rally there, but you were talking about how moved you were by the portrayal of it in the classic HBO series Watchmen, and how you wanted to walk those same streets.
We're going back to race?
No, I didn't mean to go to race. I mean, it takes, the whole show takes place in, Tulsa / Mars / moon of Jupiter. That's where everything takes place.
Yeah,
right.
I'm glad people like the show, is my official review of Watchmen in the current climate. They got bars open. Now you
Is it
know.
is it
Now you
normal?
know.
You had to decide. Oh, because I'm gonna guess that your wife is like my wife and doesn't approve. Oh, were you forbidden? Did you have a forbidden? Oh my.
Brian, I had to make a decision myself. I was not given any kind of list of things that I could or couldn't do when I was gone.
Like,
However, it is a pressure I felt then, likely emanating from my point in time now, where I am sitting in a hotel and depending on the results of this test that is coming back in the next 48 hours, I will decide whether or not I'm spending much more time, possibly weeks, in this hotel. But I was flush with the big goal to not get COVID. So by and large, I was working. I really didn't have a lot of time to sit around and get a order of wings and bullshit. But there was one moment. Saturday night, I get done with everything I need to get done, and it's about 12 o'clock midnight, and you're up in your hotel room, and you get that little call that like, you want to know what?
hold on. Do hotel bars count? I mean, they're practically just commissaries, right? They're practically just cafeterias that happen to be downstairs.
This was a restaurant and bar in the hotel, right? That was their hotel bar.
All right.
This is where you're drawing the line?
No. I'm saying like.
Do you not want to hear the rest of the story?
No. I do, but I'm trying to evaluate whether or not like if you run downstairs, if it's in the building and you're in a hotel and you're never leaving the hotel, to me it's fair game to just run your tongue up and down all of the tables in the establishment. But it sounds like that might be perceived as not great on your mandate.
Well, I don't know if I want to run my tongue up and down any table, considering I don't want to get sick.
Well,
like not getting sick is
take
the
it
issue.
from me, a guy who at the beginning of COVID literally ran his tongue up and down a
Licked
table
the bar
and then got sick.
So sick. Yeah.
yes. So what was the conflict and how did it turn out?
I come off, and so I'm like, you want to know what? I'll get a drink. And I'm gonna sit there at the bar and play a little Hearthstone. And then maybe when last call comes, I assume it's sometime within the next hour or so, like I'll get another drink and that'll be my time in Tulsa. But I expect for it to be like what you would describe the hotel bar to be, fairly empty, right? Just maybe a lonely bartender and a few other weary travelers. I come off that elevator.
Oh.
And I see something that I have not seen since COVID. And it is a slammed asshole to elbows, standing room only fucking rager.
And now how much of this is because I've been in hotel bars that are like that, but almost exclusively they've been at conventions that have like that for whatever reason, like the convention runs till 11:48 p.m. and then ends, and the whole world knows that if you're going to get one goddamn drink, it's going to be right now at the hotel bar, right? And then the whole world swoops in. Is this because everybody's there for the rally, or just because it happens to be an open bar?
So I noticed from the outside that it seems to be a lot of like big dudes, like tall, muscular dudes that are here at this bar. They are comprising about 50% of the people in there.
Yeah.
And this other guy sees me kind of standing as I am now at a fucking moral quandary. Like that's what I said I wanted. In fact, this crowded bar is something that I've thought of for months. It's thought was a return to normalcy. And now I find myself wrestling with this decision. And this guy comes up next to me and he's like, yeah, looks like a bodybuilder convention in there. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, it's apparently all the Secret Service guys. Those are who's in there, are the Secret Service guys off duty, having their drinks after the rally.
But okay.
I will say this, having walked around the rally and seeing all the guys in the Secret Service uniforms, it's certainly, at least by body type alone, that made sense to me.
Given that, give or take, every single one of them has one mandate, and that is to take care of somebody over 70. Oftentimes we think of that as, jumping in front of a bullet.
Yeah.
Given the mortality rate of COVID victims who are over the age of 70, doesn't that sound a little bit like they're all gathering together and saying, hey, man, anyone have a bullet? I just want to take that on back and just, just slow motion insert it into my boss.
Well, I think that I don't know everything about the Secret Service, but I do know that there's a difference between the advanced teams and the teams that are with the president. I do know that all of the people that are with the president are tested every single day. So whether or not they have it, they're not going to be near the president if they do have it. But I was not in that moment there to judge whether or not they were making good decisions. I was judging whether or not I was going to walk in there and get a drink, and furthermore, whether or not I was going to find a seat and play Hearthstone in a sound that I have missed so dearly. The din of a bar while I have my ear pods in listening to a podcast, drinking my drink and playing Hearthstone while ignoring them. And there I sat, looking at the crowded bar, thinking like, God, if this were any other time and I had an opportunity to just buy Secret Service dudes a fucking drink and just hear
Stories.
fucking war stories, like, God, you would have to, like, that seems like a perfect thing. It seems like a thing that I would love. It would, in any other world, me traveling across the country so I could hear Secret Service stories would be like the fucking shit.
You didn't do it, did he?
Went right back up.
Hmm.
Went right back up. That was that. I thought I wanted it, Brian. I thought I wanted it, and then I came close to it, and I'm like, I had this thought. That's the room I get COVID in.
Yeah.
All the rest.
And it's only because of the because here's what I suspect is there are 3 trees. The branch 1, you don't get COVID. Branch 2,
yeah,
you get COVID, but it wasn't your fault because you did all the right things.
Yeah.
Think I can handle branch A? Think I can handle branch C? Branch B, you get COVID, you know exactly where you were naughty. Like that's
that's
the
the
one
thing,
where
is
I
that-
can't handle.
And it's like I could have got COVID by talking to the first lady I talked to, right? I could have, but I know that if I went in there and I sat in there and I played fucking Hearthstone, that's where I would know I got COVID. I mean, like, that shit doesn't come with a fucking like a infected on date. Like, you just know that I got COVID in fucking Tulsa, and I would know for a fact. Everything else, I was in the line of duty.
I mean, so
to be fair,
it's
I went to a bar near the rally and I bullshitted with some people because that's normally what I do, to just get the lay of the land and see what people are thinking. Like, I was in a bar, but I was there doing my job. I was talking to Trump people and we were sharing a beer while I was doing my job.
Brother.
That was not doing my job. That was a creature comfort. And I knew And the second I saw it, I'm like, this is the siren song calling to the rocks. Just a bunch of chiseled men's talking about the time that the president puked in his own shoes or fucking shit himself. Like, just telling me stories about political arcane elements and which first lady's a bitch and fucking like who is like kind to children and whether or not like they caught the fucking presidential children with porn and who smokes weed, like all these stories just waiting for me inside. And I was like, I can't do it. I gotta go back.
In the words of the great Jimmy Carter, you felt it, you lusted in your heart, and whether
oh brother, there was just, again, a chorus line of fucking six packs just saying, like, we'll tell you everything, all the Secret Service stories. And I had to turn away.
Yeah, dude. Track A, where you don't get COVID. Who cares? No worries. Track C, where you do get COVID, but you have a clean heart, a clean soul. That's fine. Track B, where you get the COVID and Ashley looks you in the eyes and says, so how do you think this happened? And you have an answer. Like that.
And I can't not tell her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, let me put it this way. If I had a studio, like Brian has a studio with a bed that I could sleep at, oh, I would have fucking went in there. But instead, I have a hotel room that's only going to get more expensive if I get it at all. And again, it's like, I just know at the very least, if I get it now, I can say, I knew the risk. I went there. I did my job. I wasn't stupid.
I did best practices the entire time.
And I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. For some reason, the perverse part is the wanting it. Like I think if you didn't even care, if you're like, I don't know, I guess I got it at a McDonald's or whatever, who wants to get COVID? Who would seriously think about, like, I will accept getting COVID, for this quarter pounder? Nobody, right? So, whatever. But I think in our hearts, you and I would both think like, yeah, I might, I might make it to legend. And a couple weeks of the sniffles, I don't know.
I mean, boy, was it any other time, Bri. Any other time, and it would have been like Fred Flintstone, just like
head on over to the Masonic Lodge.
But no, it was a no-go. That was a decision that I know you know exactly where the, like,
I've been a good boy. You
gotta go.
I mean, I see those now open signs all over the place, and I too have lusted in my heart, but I also understand how much trouble it'll be if I get in trouble.
Yeah, and you can't lie about it. Like, I can't lie and say that I didn't go. And
I think that's something that we've never really talked about, but I think both you and I are in like when it comes to our significant others, like, we just don't do lies. I mean, I think that's part of why we do Night Attack Night Attack is practically confession for us, right? Where it's like every awful, embarrassing moment, every sin in my heart I've ever committed, just as fast as I can, share it with Justin, put it in public, try to make it funny.
I mean, I don't have the memory for lies. That's my thing. It's like I don't have the memory for it. Like, it takes up too much in my soul to think about doing it. And so, like, in general, especially with Ashley, it's like, I want to build a life where I don't have to. And that's just the end of the game.
Yeah. Plus, also, Wolf Glenn nails it. If you've married the right person, I mean, you can't pull it off. like
Yeah.
there's so many little I have almost fucked up so many surprise parties and all that stuff just because it's like, I mean, I just can't. Not good at it.
Well, and you know, I definitely just have like that telltale heart thing where it's like I will self-sabotage if I am and she's buying it. If she's buying it, I feel worse. Like I feel like you know it is X7
Yeah.
immediately whenever I feel, unless I have like, you know, like when I lied to her that I didn't have her engagement ring. But that's theatrical lying. That's like, oh, when she finds out, it'll be part of a big fun moment and it'll just be one little undercurrent of emotion in a otherwise,
Well,
you know, a mushroom
that's
cloud of happiness.
Yeah, that's a magic trick, right? Like that's
Yeah.
you know, that's telling your kids about Santa Claus and, you know, and then revealing that their card was the 7 of diamonds, you know.
Yeah, it's that famous canard.
I mean, it's like whatever.
Is that how you revealed? Is that how you revealed that Santa wasn't real to your kids? You know, that was a free choice, right? A free choice. The 7 of diamonds. Now go ahead and confirm this is your signature. This just says Santa's not real. Oops.
I'm sorry.
That's the real truth.
So I'm continuing to play The Last of Us Part 2 with my 12-year-old, which is pretty wild because we finally got to a heavy part of the game. And it's, number one, it's always great to see a well-crafted, well-told story. It's great when it is in video game format. It's even better when there are hard parts and you have the phone number of a personal friend who is one of the top credits on that thing, and you could just text.
So you're just getting the inside sauce on shit from Crackle?
Yeah, well, I mean, inside sauce mainly being fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. like that's all. That's all of it.
Is that pretty much
thread.
That's hilarious.
It's great. Yeah.
So good. It's a good game.
It's very good. It's very good. And I think we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but that's a lost episode. So if we didn't already talk about it, it's remarkable how different the world is. You know, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, nobody would shut up how violent video games were the end all be all of everything, right? How they were subversive. And then I guess 20 years ago, we're talking about Grand Theft Auto. And it's like, there's drug use fornication in there or whatever. It feel like what a difference in climate and what a difference excellent storytelling makes, that me and my 12-year-old daughter are hanging out watching an 18-year-old Ellie discover, again, very minor spoiler, they discover a budding romance, and it happens to be with another girl. And number one, like, to live in a world where that's not the interesting part. We're more excited for whether or not the relationship lasts, and than anything else, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, on their rounds at some point, they discover a weed farm, and then they smoke weed, and it's like, and I feel if I say I feel nothing, it makes me feel dead inside. But I feel nothing in terms of being worried about sharing this moment with my 12-year-old, because the whole time I'm thinking, in the world we live in now in 2020, yes, this is a proper way to represent exploring relationships and figuring out what's right for you. Yeah, exactly. You know, the killing or whatever, you know, that's the game. But it's like, how different, what a different world. It's just one of those moments where it's like, would not have placed that bet 30 years ago that this moment would be happening and in the world of video games.
All right. We are about to go over time for today, but I'm going to leave you with this one over under that you're gonna have to guess because this is something else we talked about yesterday.
Sure.
You were wondering how long the Always Sunny in Philadelphia Lethal Weapon episodes that feature blackface
How long
go
until the
away.
until the mob?
Today, Tuesday. Hold on. Tuesday, 30 Rock put 3 of their episodes off syndication, off the streaming platforms that featured blackface. So I'm going to give you, Brian Brushwood, Friday, 5 p.m. East Coast time, do the Always Sunny in Philadelphia Lethal Weapon episodes survive past this Friday at 5 p.m.
Yeah, I'll take the over on that for sure. I'll take the
over.
Definite over. Definite.
And apparently they've already been gone. So you lose. Someone says themovieweb.com. It's Always Sunny and Lethal Weapon episodes removed from Netflix.
No!
Wow, that was the quickest ever.
No. God damn it. Damn it.
Oh no, that's it. No, that's in the UK. That's in the UK.
All right, America.
We'll see if it's in America. In America. But if they were already removed in the UK, then it's probably only a press release approval away from being gone in America.
Man. I'm getting too old for this shit. Oh, God damn it. All
right, so you're still going to take over?
Yeah, I'll take the over.
I'm going to take under.
I'll take the over because I think I feel like Always Sunny is in kind of the same clubhouse as South Park, and we probably already said this yesterday. Neither of us remember. Of all the institutions to go to war with, they're very good at scathing satire and comedy, and in a way that
the only thing that I could think of is if they took a stand on like, we're gonna put disclaimers or we're going to put something because we don't want. There is a liberal position to say when you remove these things, you fetishize them, and we don't want to fetishize them.
Right.
So we are going to put a disclaimer so everybody knows what we were trying to do. We're going to spell it out very deliberately, but we don't want to fetishize them.
Also, I rewatched. I rewatched one of those episodes, and it's very good. It's very funny.
Reggie 33 says, "Has RDJ gotten shit for Tropic Thunder?" If anybody doesn't, the Tropic Thunder one is like literally the point is that white people shouldn't be doing blackface. Like the entire arc of the character is that he's the Daniel Day-Lewis asshole who like he can play a crippled person. He can play, all these different things.
He can go full
and
R.
So now, yeah, he can do the. It's about Hollywood hypocrisy, and his arc is also realizing it.
Lethal Weapon, the first of the 2 Lethal Weapon episodes, also is the stated subject and argument that they are having. Is that?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'll take the under. If you're taking the over, I'm taking the under because right. I think they are in this climate. They are gonzo. Maybe
I can get you to cover one of my stakes that I'm going to owe Cargill.
I owe stakes too. No, we're not. This isn't a stake bet.
I know, but I doubled down though because I'm an idiot. There's that. All right, we'll see you guys. So long.